It's Howard on this date, Howard Stern on this date. We'll do some Artie Lange discussion. We'll talk about Beetlejuice and just look at things that have happened on this date. But hello and welcome, and thank you for coming to the channel. How about we start, as we always do, with some pop culture and some what was number one on the charts at this time. So 1994, number one. We talked about this yesterday. Ace of Base, number one. They were number one for 2 straight weeks in a row with The Sign. They were knocked off the charts by Mariah Carey and Without You, Air Supply remake. That was 1994. 93, number one on this date, knocking Duran Duran off the top of the charts. Actually, we had four number ones. 4 new number ones in March. Whole New World, wonderful song. Peabo Bryson, that was number one in the last week of February into March. Then Ordinary World by Duran Duran takes off and is number one, followed by I'm Every Woman this week in March. I'm Every Woman by Whitney Houston. And then knocking Whitney Houston off the top of the charts, it was Snow. It was Snow. Informer. I think he's Canadian, right? Informer Canadian. Small crowd today. I don't know where everybody is. Hello. I had a big crowd Monday, a nice crowd Tuesday. Where's everybody at? Let's see what else happened on this date, and then we'll get into the fun. Let's see. Let's go to the end of here and take a look as we try to get folks to join here today. But if no one's going to join, then I can just stop down. I think I'm going to have to move these back. I think this is too early in the afternoon for some folks. But we've had like 1,500 people come join us and then play with the on this date. So I don't know where everybody is. Where are you, Lance? Where are you? I'm excited. I'm excited to have you here, and I don't see anybody joining, and it's scary. You know, I'm wearing my Aerosmith shirt today. We're going to talk about Aerosmith. When are they coming back? Are they going to come back? Is Aerosmith going to play this year? I have tickets to that concert. Is Aerosmith are they gonna come? I don't know. How about some rock and roll in this? Well, whose birthday? We got some birthdays, and then we're gonna do some Howard Stern. As we let people come in, we want to talk about the moments. But today's William H. Macy's birthday. What an incredible actor. He was born on this date in 1950. Also was Common, the rapper. Don't know him. Not a fan. I've never heard of him. Common, the rapper. Also born today, Neil Sedaka. Happy birthday to Neil. Born in 1939, and I think he's still alive, right? And did he not create the theme to The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson? Adam Clayton of U2. His birthday is today. He was born in 1960. Unfortunately, I should write down how old they are because the math here, let's see. So 40, 60, 64 Adam Clayton would be from U2. And I believe he's not on the Sphere tour, right? They kicked him out, right? They Joey Kramered him like they did with Aerosmith. They kicked out the drummer. Wasn't feeling well. Today in 1965 in music, Eric Clapton quits the Yardbirds due to musical differences with other band members. Clapton wanted to continue to be a blues-type band, while the rest of the band preferred the more commercial style of their hit, For Your Love. So the Yardbirds lose Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton goes on and makes a big run on his own. We're doing On This Date, and we'll be looking at some Howard Stern. Hello, Anthony. There we are. Hey now, what happened to Artie? We'll have an update coming up in a little bit. Nothing has happened to Artie since I was here yesterday, but he will be back. He will be back with a vengeance. I believe he'll be doing a podcast very soon. Again, you'll be seeing him on Twitter. So Artie will be coming back, and we'll let folks know that. By the way, on this date, 1965, also the Beatles started a 2-week run at the top of the singles charts with 8 days a week. It was the group's 7th number one. I would have thought they'd had more number ones by this time in 1965. Also, big day, big news on March 13th. 1781, Uranus was discovered. The planet, okay, Uranus. Uranus. English astronomer William Herschel observed this day in 1781 the 7th planet from the sun, Uranus. First described to him as a curious, either nebulous star or perhaps a comet. And he named it for his father of the god Saturn. So that's what happened on this date in 1781. It was a big day. So we'll go backwards. Actually, it's probably not a good idea to go backwards because there's some good stuff that happened on this date. But welcome in, Anthony. Thank you for joining me. Again, if you're watching here live, come on in. Let's comment. Let's have a Q&A going. If you're watching on tape, we talk to the folks that comment. We stop down, we look at some moments from on this date, and then we have a nice conversation with the folks that come in and chat with me, and I enjoy that. So thank you all for coming in. Let's start right off the bat with today's March 13th, 2000 show. And again, all of these are from marksfriggin.com, a wonderful website, a wonderful resource if you're a Stern fan to look back at moments in the Stern show. But on this date, Robin's having car trouble. And I thought that was interesting that Robin actually was driving and had a car. But here's what she said. Robin wasn't feeling too good this morning. She told Howard that she had to leave her Range Rover in the middle of the street when she came in this morning. She explained how she ran into a store to get something, and when she came out, the metal part of her key had fallen off somewhere, and she was unable to find it. She had no way to start the vehicle, so she called the dealer and told them the problem. She didn't wait around for the tow truck, though. She sent down an intern to wait. Of course, Robin did. Howard took a call from the tow truck dispatcher who said they wouldn't be able to get the tow until at least 7 a.m. Robin said that by then the city will have towed it because it's just sitting in the middle of the street on a crosswalk. So we have Robin having car troubles on March 13th, 2000. Also on this date, Tim Stack, the star of Son of the Beach, came into the studio and they talked about the show and the production. It was going to start airing the following Tuesday night, so we're getting close to the premiere of Son of the Beach on FX. I never watched this show. Did anybody watch that? I didn't watch it. You know, usually anything Howard was involved with, I didn't really watch unless Howard was part of it. So I I understand it was a funny farce show, but I did not see Son of the Beach. I'm just curious if the folks coming in did. As on March 13th, 2000, Tim Stack came in and talked about Son of the Beach. It was premiering the next week. So welcome to those joining us. Hello, Vince. And Vince says Son of the Beach was pretty bad. Yeah, I didn't get many. What, it had 2 seasons? Did it even have 2 seasons? I don't remember a clamor for when it went away. Howard also tried the Howard Stern high school years. Hello, what's the stream all about? Dragon says, well, thank you for asking and welcome to the new people coming in. What I do here is we do a little on this date, and then I look at the comments and we have a discussion about some of the things that have happened. So I look back at moments on this date from the Stern Show and in pop culture, and we have a discussion. So right now I'm looking back. Thank you. Fantastic, he says. So welcome back. Or you said, thanks. Got it. And I'm wearing an Aerosmith shirt. And early on I mentioned, is Aerosmith coming back? Any Aerosmith fans? I don't know. It's comfy. Yeah, it's a comfy show. Yeah, he said it sounds comfy, and it is. And normally we have more people. So it's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. We're hoping more people show up. We usually have we usually have some regulars come through here. So I'm hoping we see our regulars come in. But I was told by one of the regulars that they didn't get the alert yesterday, so that was no good. We need the regulars. They come in and they make it fun. They get the comments going. So please comment, because I will stop and look at the comments and we'll talk. But right now I'm just talking about what happened on March 13th, 2000. Not much. March 13th, 2001, this date in Howard Stern history, Ron Zimmerman was allowed back in the building again as he's filling in for Jackie. So this was the beginning of the end of the Jackie era. And Stern had already picked out who he wanted to come in, as Ron Zimmerman was the first person to sit in. Does anybody remember Ron Zimmerman being in the chair? I do. I remember him not being quite a great fit for the show, but I did find him to be funny. And he was on this show, and he has passed since. But Ron Zimmerman was filling in again, as he was the first to take the Jackie chair, but not the last, as we know. Artie would win the seat by the end of the year, and the rest is history. Ray Liotta was supposed to be on the show, but he canceled and rebooked for tomorrow's show. Howard thinks he got cold feet and backed out, but then changed his mind to book for tomorrow. Howard said he doesn't want any phone calls, though. So they talked about Ray Liotta coming off the show. Vince says Zimmerman was bad. I didn't think he added much to the show. Like I said, I thought he was a funny man, but his sense of humor was slow and dry, and I think what Artie brought was quick and fast and funny. You have to be funny, of course. So that's why I think Artie was perfect for that chair. But moving on, also on March 13th, 2001, how does Howard make $31 million is the headline that Mark Friggin put in there. This guy, Doug Donovan from Forbes magazine, called in to tell Howard how they figured out he makes $31 million a year. Howard said he's telling the truth when he says he doesn't make anything close to that amount. Howard says he does believe that Oprah makes $100 million, but he knows that he doesn't make what they say. Rush Limbaugh apparently makes $37 million a year, and Howard doesn't believe that one either. So Howard was trying to lower his tax rate, I guess, here. Looking back at the comments here, Vince, Leota was a good interview, if you recall. Croy sits in. Wow, I don't remember that, but, and you spelled Croy wrong. Not that I'm here to be the grammar police, but C-R-O-I-X, Croy. She was strange. What was her deal? Where did she come from, and where is she? Anybody see Croy lately? I always found her to be an interesting guest or sit-in. I don't know what she was doing, but Croy. So anyway, Howard says he's not worth $31 million now. What is he worth now? I wonder what is it $500 million? Like what is considered worth? But anyway, that was March 13th. Also on March 13th, 2001, Howard's talking about Morton Downey Jr. dying. And Howard thought he would mention it here. He's always said he had a weird history with him, but he wasn't going to badmouth the guy. He said Morton was always wanted to engineer some wacky feud with Howard over the years, but he didn't want any part of it. So Morton Downey Jr. Passed on this day back in 2001. And then we also had another Tim Stack call-in, I guess, season number 2, Son of the Beach was coming back on, and so Tim Stack was back on March 13th, 2001. And that was fun. And then we also, on this date, we had hypnotist Paul McKenna hypnotize Fred. I remember this pretty well. Let me take a look here at the comments. Yes, I don't know what Stern is worth, but I'd love to marry one of his daughters. I don't know if he gives his kids any money. It seems like he sort of keeps it to himself, maybe. But let's read about here. Thank you for the comments, though, and keep them coming over there. Vince, welcome in. We have a nice crowd here coming through on the live chat. Once again, we do this live every day. We look back at Howard Stern moments on this date, and then I repost it so you can see it later in the day. Of course, you can watch the live portion as well, but we like to get the comments going, and we get a little interactive, so come live. And again, I might move this back just a little bit just to see if we get more viewers. We're trying the sweet spot here. We just started this week daily, so just having fun, seeing how it goes. Hypnotist Paul McKenna comes in on this date, March 13th, 2001, and he was going to hypnotize Fred. The other ones Paul tried to do just didn't work, so it was up to Paul to put Fred under and make him do wacky things. The first thing they had Fred think that he was in a love triangle with Howard and Robin. Paul did his hocus pocus and brought him out by saying, eyes open, wide awake, wakey, wakey. He's done this many times in the past. Howard went on to tell Fred that he was sleeping with Robin at the same time he was. Fred told Howard that he has been seeing her since 1981. And then there was an argument that ensued. So Fred evidently did get hypnotized in this portion. Howard had Paul put Fred back under again. And then this time they had Fred take on the personality of Jackie. And then Paul told Fred that he would take on both the physical and psychological characteristics of Jackie. Eyes open, wide awake. Paul brought him out, and then he would do an impression of Jackie that he's never done before. He wasn't as hyper as usual. So, interesting. Fred got hypnotized on this date back in 2001. On March 13th, 2002, kind of going right in order here, but March 13th, 2002, Howard starts off by talking about celebrity boxing on Fox. And the reason why I mention this is because all of the combatants come on the show, I believe. Tanya Harding was battling Paula Jones, which is quite interesting. Now I want to see that. Now that I've been watching all the Clinton documentaries from those days and then the Tanya Harding movie, I'd like to see how that fight checked out. But we had Michael Buffer come on, and then we had William Shatner play Butt Billionaire. I don't remember that. That's quite a headline, but we did have William Shatner in studio to play Butt Billionaire with Tabitha Stevens was in that day, by the way. And Tanya Harding did call in, and then we had Vinny Favale call in. Nothing good here. Todd Bridges and Barry Williams call in. They fought on the celebrity boxing as well. So it was a show on Fox, but Howard was promoting it quite heavily, as he had all the combatants from that on. But I don't remember these fights. I do remember Todd Bridges being part of it. Oh, and then Junior had a 5-minute fart record attempt. I don't remember if that worked. Let's see. No. All right, now to the moment we've all been waiting for. So if you were here yesterday, I talked about how this is one of my favorite moments on the show ever. So it was March 12th, 2003. But basically, Casey had set up this game where he called Whackpackers and asked if they would have, was it sex? With Michael J. Cox for $250,000. I think he called Jeff the Drunk. I think he called Gary. None of them said they would do it, except for Scott the Engineer. So they asked Scott the Engineer, and he said, yeah, I'll do it. And I'll do it right there on the floor if you give me $250,000. So it turned into a whole thing. They were going to have it at Giant Stadium. They were going to call it American Anal. And they couldn't believe Scott was actually in for this. And they said, we have to call your wife on the air. So this all happened the day before. His wife said, sure, go for it. So here's the follow-up. As March 13th, 2003, they start the show as they were talking about this happening. They had a new version of Scott from the Block. Let me stop here and just make sure I talk to the commenters. Yeah, I don't know why Howard would put Vinny Favale on the show so often. Successful guy, but terrible on the air. It was interesting that he was on a lot. It's amazing the people he chooses to put on. I know that Vinny was part of the CBS Howard Stern late night show back in the late 90s where they would just take the E! Show and put the highlights on. And I think Vinny was sort of their conduit. So I guess he got to know him and maybe he thought that that was a guy he should know. But back to my Scott the Engineer story because this is too funny. And again, please continue to comment and I will jump in and jump in the comments and we'll continue to talk. Howard said he had quite a conversation with his agent yesterday after the show about Scott. He said he spent almost the whole show yesterday on the subject. Howard gave some of the details of the discussion today, made it real quick, and said Scott has agreed to take anal from a man for $250,000. Second greatest moment on the air, according to Vince, and of course the 17 push-up debacle was the greatest. But this doesn't come up when you look at like lists. Every time I see like the top 25 list, this doesn't come up, but I've never laughed harder at any. They had the gold dust background. You had people calling in, offering money. So anyway, let's see. That was about it. That was the rest of the discussions for Scott the Engineer. Okay, so he goes back. He said he had to put off the call to his agent because it was just embarrassing. He said he hoped that Don would have heard about it and found out from someone else before he called. Howard had to explain with Scott again and said Scott sees it as 5 years of salary for him. Howard said that everyone they talked to would pay for it on pay-per-view. He figured he would do it right there in the studio. He said they're not going to see the action going down. He just wants to see Scott's face as it's happening. Remember, they were going to put him, they're going to have his head sticking out with the man behind him. Oh, God, it's funny every time I think of it, and I just wish I could play it here for you, but go back if you can find it. I have it on tape. If you really want it, I can play most of it. Howard said they probably show more on HBO's Queer as Folk. Robin said that they showed hands going... Okay, well, I don't need to talk about all that. Howard said he laid out the whole special for his agent, Don Buchwald. He said it would start off with a name like American Anal, and they'd introduce the show saying that America would be voting to see a straight man... I'm sorry, I can't read this. I'm laughing too hard. Anyway, he had to talk to his agent. So Howard said, what happened with your wife when you went home? She said, he has no problem. She has no problem with it, and the money's already spent. So that was funny. Howard asked Scott what happened when he got home. I just said that. Howard wondered if she's just completely bored with him, and that's why this isn't a big deal. Howard also found out that Scott's wife explained to their son that this was going to happen. Scott said she explained the whole thing to him and thought it was going to be a strap-on. She explained that it was being done for the money and they really need it. Scott said his son suggested that he do the 2 minutes for $250,000 for every minute. After that, he gets another $100,000. Howard said the 2 minutes is plenty. Remember, the son was having to go to school with this. Hello, B40. Yeah, so in the comments, I always talk about Artie updates, and the update is he will be, I believe soon, you'll be seeing him come out of hiding. I believe the podcast will be back, stand-up gigs, but this is a couple months from now. So we are waiting for him to come here to tell us that. Hopefully that'll happen. That is the update, but thank you for joining here, and we're going live on this date. Anyway, I could read on and on about the Scott the Engineer American Anal, but that's what happened on this date in 2003. We also had Sandra Bernhard come in. This was the second time on March 13th because she also came in on 1997. And I believe this might have been her last visit. I don't think she made it to Sirius. I did enjoy Sandra Bernhard when she was on the show with Howard, but that was about it. 2006, so we move into the serious years. Howard on this date. Howard and Artie were still sick. Howard's going to be on Letterman that night. I don't remember what they're talking about. I guess this is during the whole well, he was, what was he doing? He was fighting with Les Moonves, right? He was fighting CBS. And thank you, B40. It says, great news. He's rooting for the baby gorilla. So yes, we all are here hoping that Artie is going to be fine. We had some Gary Garver interviews on March 13, 2006. So Howard's going to be on Letterman tonight. Howard isn't sure what he's going to do there. He said he thinks the taping time is 4:30. Howard said he's going to be talking about what a piece of shit Les Moonves is. Yeah, so that was part of it. Howard said he'd prefer... Artie asked what it must be like for Dave when he has like a Steven Seagal on the show. So that's what happened on this date. Let's see what else you got. Is that when Sandra outed Beth for being a party girl? I don't have the full... Let's look at the detail. I don't think I have the full details here. No, I don't believe... I don't remember that happening either, by the way. Sparky does. Sparky's up there. Can you hear him? Yeah. Also on this date in 2006, Riley Martin demands his own radio show. Howard had Riley Martin on the phone. He said Riley must be mad at him because he's promised to give him his own show. Riley said his readers are angry because thousands of them have gone to purchase Sirius radios to hear him on the air. Howard said that saying thousands of his fans have purchased radios is insane. So Riley was calling in and trying to get his own show, and then eventually Riley did get his own show. I heard Beth's first car was a Ford Escort. Oh, come on. Stop that. Funny, though. I like that. Hello, everybody. Now, keep it coming here. Again, once again, I'll stop for just a second and say thank you all for joining. I do have super thanks enacted. You become a member just by going into the description and looking at all the things I got going on. I have a shirt shop. We want more subscribers. I'm right at 15,000. So let your buddies know that this is what we do. We look back at Howard Stern moments, good moments, not the stuff that's happening now because the show is, right now, it's not even on. He's been, I guess, in vacation. But this is what we do. We look back at the good stuff and we talk about it and we have fun, right? We have fun. So I just want to mention that. Go to the description and take a look at all this stuff going on. But Riley Martin came on the show and that was his pitch to get his own show, which he finally did, thanks to Tim Sabian. Trying to get Riley's guy, his handler, on. Have made connections. E-Rock? Can't remember how. I should remember that. Anyway, haven't heard back, but trying to get him on this program. If you come to this channel, or if this is your first time at the channel, take a look at some of the interviews I've done with all of the former members of the show. Doug Goodstein, Tim Sabian, Shuli, Scott DePace, TRACEY Millman, all of them, all have been great to be part of this program. March 13th, 2006, the Beetlejuice song, Lost Forever. Howard said one of the sad things about leaving the old place was that they didn't get the tapes of his old shows. He said they tried to get the Beetlejuice song, and they tried to get Beetlejuice to sing the Beetlejuice song, but they can't get him to sing it correctly, so they just could not. Eron, thank you, rideshare guy. Welcome in. Eron, what did I say, A-Mac? I'm sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, so we'd lost the Beetlejuice song. I did not realize that was done before Sirius. I thought that was done at Sirius, but it is quite a wonderful song. I still sing it today. Oh, he took it back. Why would you take that back? Don't retract your messages. We love when you guys have messages, but that's fine. If you don't want that out there, my bad. But this is Beetle. He's as bad as can, and he knows he's the best. That song is seemingly lost forever. I guess it was stuck over at the, not Sirius, K-Rock. Hi, hello, welcome, Jerry, thank you. You rewound and now you've come in late. You're at 1.75 speed, so I'll slow down because I'm probably talking really fast, but thank you for joining. Again, I do these live. I let you guys come in and comment. I love talking to the commenters if you have any thoughts. And then we replay it on the main channel. But what I do is I go looking at some of the things that happened on this date thanks to Mark's friggins' rundown. March 13th, 2006. Oh, big day in 2006. Eric the Midget done with the show? Howard played an audio clip of Eric the Midget leaving a message for Richard Christie. Eric claims that he is done with the show because he thinks the show he did last week was set up to be an ambush. He started to say, talk to you, goodbye. Richard said that Eric called back an hour later and said if they could get Carrie Underwood to appear on his second show, he would come back on. Howard played Richard's call to Eric's show where he asked him about his midget cock. Anyway, so we had an Eric the Midget. What a wonderful time it was to have Eric, the actor, on. Hello, Jimmy. Hey now, he says. Jimmy says, hey now. And B40, I'm a 17-year-old only because Beat from TikTok. Well, hello. Yes, Beat has become a star again. TikTok is amazing that his career has taken off again. I need to get him on this program. I've had his manager on. I always say this, and I should just have a pen and paper. I'm like, I got to write this down. I got to get Beat on this show and see what happens. Hello, Fraser. I got rid of Stern on Sirius, and sadly, I don't miss him. Yeah, so I've been doing like the free 3-month thing and trying to help report out what's going on the show. I think I mentioned this a couple times on the live show here, but it got to the point where it was like brutal to have to listen and try to kind of transcribe what was happening on a show. So then I tried another way, and I didn't even want to try it that way. But the show is just, it's, as you'll see as we get further here, it's not as good as it was obviously in 2006. Oh, speaking of 2006, we have an Artie and Dana update. Howard took a call from a woman who was thrilled that Howard was replaying his shows throughout the day. She said she loved it. She was also asking Artie about how his relationship with Dana's going. Artie said things are fine now. He said they're back to going out to dinner and hanging out. Artie said that he hasn't gone to a shrink yet. Howard wondered when that's going to happen. This was March 13, 2006, so we're already talking about the shrink. And this goes on for what, the next 4 years till he leaves. But that's what happened on March 13th, on this date, 2006. Hello, Jerry. Welcome. I hooked up with Jackie and Fred and Stern with the show 42 years ago. Still listening? Are you still in? I didn't get it that early. What was I, 4 or 5? I wasn't that old. I wasn't alive back then. Hooked up. Yeah, I figured that's what that's what I got that, Jerry. But yeah, wow, that's a long-time fan. And you're still listening? Is that true? I wonder if you're still listening. I'm not. Keep the comments coming. I'll take a look, and if you have any comments or questions, we will definitely stop down and look. March 13th, 2007. Artie not being fair to himself or anyone else, so we'll talk about that in a moment. We had an Eric the Midget call in, so he's off the show, and but the next day he is calling in. Jackie the Joke Man comes in, and we had Chubby Checker pissed at Howard. So again, another fun show, it sounds like. Let's take a look. They were playing the wrap-up show, and it led to Howard playing a clip of Artie talking about how he didn't want to be part of the weight loss contest that the guys are in. He said he's just going to give his team $1,000 if they end up losing the challenge because of him. So Artie, of course, trying to be part of the weight loss challenge, and did not succeed. Jackie the Joke Man was going to be on the show. I can't remember if this is the first time. I think he came in 2006. But we talked to Jackie. Eric the Midget calls in. This is the moment when they're talking about what was his name? Sunjaya? And Howard was doing Vote for the Worst. Hello, everybody. Hello, Lance. There you are. Welcome in. Hello, Jerry. Jerry says, you ghost wrote for Stern Show. Oh, what? Tell me more, Jerry. Jerry says, I ghost wrote for Stern Show 1993 through 95 through Jackie on weekly cassette tapes sent to Jackie. Well, welcome, Jerry. This could be, like, we may have to get you on here live to talk about this here. Hello, Oxy Montana. So you guys are coming in here a little bit later here. So I'm gonna push these back to later in the day, but thank you for coming in. Yes, that's right. I'm streaming. B40, the show has fallen so far since the Cabby John fight. I wonder if Howard did a live event like that today, if any fans would even show up. The fan base is gone. Yeah, that'd be interesting to know. That would be. I mean, I think he's afraid to leave his house, so I don't think he's going to do anything with a bunch of people. But yeah, I wonder if people would show up. Sorry about the no alert. I don't know why you're not getting alerted. I am putting these out usually around noon. I schedule them, so we have to figure out what's going on there. But I also put a post out there, Lance. So But yeah, I'm more into this Jerry thing with the ghost writing. So you just would send jokes to Jackie on the cassette. But how is it timely, though? I'm more curious about that. But thank you for coming to the show, Jerry. All right, let's see. Chubby Checker pissed at Howard on this date. Let's see. Howard said that Chubby Checker hates him. This is March 13th, 2007, as we're still looking back at this date. He said they were kind of goofing on him, and now Chubby hates him. He said he didn't mean the guy any harm, but he got a really nasty email from the guy. He said he can't believe he never read the letter on the air. He played some of Chubby's The Twist song in a parody that someone created for Robinson called Show Me Those Tits. So that's Chubby Checker. Yeah, come on, Jerry. Let's hear some more. I don't know. I gotta get you on the show somehow, right? If you're ghostwriting. Put your email in there so we can all email you. So we have the Jackie the Joke Man visit. March 13th, 08. Nothing much going on here. Yeah, this is where it kind of goes downhill. I'm going to just look through. I didn't keep any of my... I didn't go any further than the stuff that happened. March 13th, 2012. We had Al McPherson join. Whitney Cummings came in, so lots of guests. And March 13th, not much happening. We had Beetlejuice come in. Jenny McCarthy visited, so a lot of visits. And then Robin was not happy with Heidi Klum from their AGT days. March 13, 2017, the show's really going downhill. So we have a Jeff the Drunk versus Shuli fight that lasts almost an hour. Beetlejuice game, and Howard's working out again. So that's what happened on 2017. 2018, I believe this is the last one. No, we had 2019 too. PGA, Baba Booey PGA Championship shoutouts. So that was happening on March 13th, 2018. 2019, we had some Mr. Skin, and we had the panel. Remember the panel? So we had the panel happening. So that's this date. Again, Uranus was discovered on this date. But that's all I have for today in my little list. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to talk about? Or I'm going to shut down, and we're going to start these up later. I'm going to move it back. I'm going to move it back to 5:30 p.m. Eastern starting tomorrow. And Jerry, please come back. Let's see. Okay, this is Jerry saying, my most famous bits were Major Project Stern's books, movies, Robin's book, Jackie Puppet. I don't know. I'd have to hear more, Jerry. I think we're going to have you on the program. That's what I think. But yeah, E-Network show. Okay. All right, well, we're going to have to find more about this. I'm going to have to kick this thing out, I think, early, though. Let's see, unless there's more people showing up. But we had a nice, again, another nice group of folks show up. I appreciate that. Again, I forgot to mention Simply Safe. Take a look at the products. You know, I use Simply Safe here at my house. It's very simple. It's the best security system I've ever seen. Just plug it in and boom, you got security at your house. You know, if your alarm goes off and you're out of town, the cops show up. I've already had cops come over here a couple times just because the alarm went off, and it was a mistake. But don't worry, that was not their mistake. That was my mistake. I shouldn't have. Anyway. Remember when Beetle and Levy came together on the show? Hello, Al? No, I don't. All right. So anything else to discuss here? I may have to drop off and do some actual work. Ronnie's like, okay. Levy is on Shuli twice. Yeah, I know. We've talked about the Dabbleverse a little bit here on this program. Lovely stuff there in the Dabbleverse. So again, we go live. We're going to go live every weekday, or try to, or as much as we see interest here. But again, I'm going to push it back starting this next day. We'll do it, try this tomorrow at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. Hello, Kurt. Christ is King. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anthony, hello. Beetle is going to take over security. Did not know this. Thank you for your content. Okay, thank you, Al. I appreciate you coming by. Hopefully you enjoy this. So just do me a favor and let your friends know that we're doing this. Send it out. We would like to see 15,000 subscribers. Let's get to the 15,000 by today. By the end of the week, I'm sorry. And then we'll have a party. We'll throw some confetti. We'll drink. We'll be merry. Thank you, Lance. We'll post this later so you can watch it in full HD. Hello. Delaware. You were in Delaware, Jerry says. All right. I don't want to leave, but I have to take a phone call, I think. So let's see if there's anything else. Anything else you guys want to talk about before I go? I don't want to leave you. I'm enjoying the comment. It takes a while to get you guys kind of out of your shell, but then the comments start coming. But I think we do 40 minutes. I think that's enough. Yeah, you're done. I'm done too. All right, thank you everybody. Come back tomorrow. We'll push it back a half hour, and we'll do some more on this date, and we'll just talk, and I'll tell you some stories about some of the folks I've tried to get on the program, and if I hear any more Artie Lange updates, they'll be right here. All right, thank you everybody. We'll talk to you soon.